Dr. Liam Carter was on a medical outreach mission at a local community center in rural Georgia. Everything was routine, until he glanced at the line forming for free medicine. That's when he saw her. The woman he never expected to see again. The woman he had a one-night stand with nearly 5 years ago. And standing beside her was a child who looked just like him. Can you imagine the shock of seeing your past walk right back into your life? Stay tuned to Dark Voices to find out what happens next. Miracle Jones lay in bed, breathless and trembling with anxiety. Her heart pounded like a drum, and she couldn't calm herself down. She gasped when the man in front of her began to remove his shirt. She had only been doing her job, cleaning the hotel room for the next guest, when a man burst in, kissed her, and pinned her to the bed. To her surprise, she didn't resist. She had never experienced anything like that before. Born and raised in hardship, Miracle had never had a relationship, never been touched like that. And when this handsome stranger kissed her, it was intoxicating. She couldn't bring herself to push him away. "Sir," she stammered, as the man hovered over her, intoxicated and wild. She could see it in his eyes. He was drunk. She should have been afraid, but what she felt was desire. "I'm Liam," he said with a dangerous smile. "I want to hear you scream my name." Miracle couldn't respond, her voice caught in her throat, as Liam's large hand slid across her chest, exploring her as if she were the only woman he had ever wanted. His lips followed, teasing and devouring her in a way that drove her half mad. No man had ever touched her like that before. She had never imagined she would feel something like this. "Don't worry," Liam whispered in a seductive tone. "I'll make this night unforgettable, and I'll be gentle." That night changed everything. What would you do if one night altered your entire future? Keep listening to Dark Voices to uncover the secrets that unfold. Miracle sat up abruptly in bed, gasping for breath. Her heart raced as she wiped the sweat from her forehead. That same dream again. Years had passed since that night, and yet her body still remembered every moment, every sensation. Her mind might try to forget, but her heart and body never had. That one night with Liam had changed her life. He was the man who had gotten her pregnant, the father of her child, the man she had never seen again until now. 5 years, she whispered bitterly, staring at the ceiling, and I still remember everything. She turned her head to glance at her sleeping son. Nico, barely 5, was sniffling with a cold. They had just paid off their bills that week. "You're the greatest gift I've ever received," she whispered, gently brushing Nico's cheek. No matter what happened, she was grateful. Despite the hardship, despite raising him alone, Nico was her whole world, her only companion. Seeing the time, 5 a.m., Miracle quickly got up and began preparing for the day. After freshening up, she stepped outside her small room and was greeted by the elderly woman who had become her life's anchor. "Need anything else?" Miracle asked kindly. "Just a few orders," replied Miss Tina, the old woman who had taken them in when they had nothing. "Oh, and by the way, they're offering free medicine and checkups later at the Cortana Community Hall. Take Nico there so he can get better. It'll save you some money, too." Miracle nodded, grateful. She helped Miss Tina finish cooking, then asked for time off from her job at the local diner to accompany her son. Thankfully, her boss was kind and allowed her to go. Inside the community gymnasium, people lined up in droves to receive the free medication. As expected, it was crowded. Nico looked up at her curiously. "Mama, there's nothing left," he asked, noticing the bustling crowd. "Nothing's gone yet, sweetie," Miracle replied, smiling reassuringly. "We just have to wait our turn." She gently explained to him why she couldn't work that day. Soon, it was their turn. They entered the tents set up inside the gymnasium. "The doctor just stepped out to grab something," a nurse explained, as she directed them to sit at a table. Miracle took a seat, placing Nico beside her, but then she froze. A man in a white doctor's coat stepped into the tent, and she knew that face. It was him. Liam, the same Liam. Their eyes locked, both visibly stunned. Miracle instinctively swallowed hard, panic rising in her chest. She could tell he recognized her. Of all the doctors in the world, it had to be him. And she never even knew he was a doctor. "Hi there." Nico greeted cheerfully, breaking the tension, as he beamed up at Liam. Liam stared at the child wide-eyed, as if he'd just seen a ghost. He looked so much like him. Miracle wanted to flee. But Nico's health came first. She couldn't risk that. Not even now. She took a deep breath and pretended not to notice the way Liam was looking at her. "Good morning, kiddo," Liam greeted, his voice warm but shaken. It wasn't just seeing Miracle again that rattled him. It was seeing the child with her, a boy who looked just like him. "Good morning, Mom," Liam addressed her politely, then took a deep breath and sat down across from them. He needed to focus. This was his job, and he had to do it right. Even if a million questions filled his mind. "Miss, not Mrs.," Miracle corrected quickly, barely able to meet his eyes, her heart pounding in her chest. Even now, he looked just as handsome as he did back then. "All right, what's the patient's name?" Liam asked, voice steady. "Nico," she replied with a small nod. "What's wrong with him?" "He's been coughing and has a runny nose for a few days now. I brought him in to see what medicine he needs." Liam nodded silently and began examining Nico. Miracle watched as he gently interacted with her son. She couldn't help but smile at the sight. It was such a beautiful image, father and son, even if Liam didn't know it. As a single mother, she'd gotten used to doing everything alone. But now, seeing Nico with Liam, something stirred in her heart. Maybe it really did make a difference having someone there. Even if they didn't need him, it felt different. "It's nothing serious," Liam explained. "Just the weather changing. Make sure he doesn't get chilled after sweating." Miracle stayed quiet, still avoiding his gaze. Liam handed her a prescription slip. "Here's the medication. Free dosage schedule is on the paper. If they run out at the center, you can always get more from the clinic." Miracle nodded and stood up, holding Nico's hand. "Thank you," she said quickly, before turning to leave. But just as she stepped out, "Miracle?" Liam called out. She froze, not answering immediately. "Yes," she asked calmly, though her nerves were shot. "Can we talk?" he said quietly but firmly. She stared at him for a long moment, then nodded and left. Miracle hadn't expected him to actually follow through. But the next day, Liam showed up at her workplace. He even spoke directly to her manager, requesting time to speak with her privately. They had been sitting together for nearly 30 minutes. Their food had arrived, but neither of them had said a word. Liam stared at her, while Miracle kept her eyes anywhere but his. "Miracle, right?" Liam finally asked, breaking the silence. She let out a breath of relief that someone had finally spoken. She nodded. "Yeah, and you're Liam, aren't you?" He nodded in return. "So, what do you want to talk about?" she asked, taking the initiative. "How are you?" "It's been almost 5 years," Liam asked, not addressing her question. Miracle gave a small smile. "I'm fine. How about you?" "I'm good. I'm working at a public hospital now. Also volunteering at charity events like the one yesterday," he said, his gaze softening. Miracle saw the kindness in him. She noticed the respect and decency that hadn't changed since the night they met. That was why she never regretted giving herself to him. He was the father of her child, whether he knew it or not. "I'm sorry," Liam suddenly said, halting her thoughts. She frowned. "Why are you apologizing for what happened 5 years ago?" He said, "I shouldn't have done that. I know you were too innocent back then. I shouldn't have taken advantage of that. I'm sorry." He looked away. "It was my birthday that night. I thought you were the woman my friends had arranged for me. I only realized afterward that you weren't." Miracle looked down, her chest tightening. She didn't know what to say. Her heart sank with guilt. "So, you regret it?" she asked without thinking. She felt stupid the moment the words left her mouth. Liam looked surprised. No, not exactly. I do feel guilty, but I won't lie and say I regret it. Even drunk, I knew what I was doing. I liked what happened. I'm sorry because I assumed something and acted on it. He leaned in slightly. I felt bad. I thought you were someone else, and that was wrong of me. Miracle sighed and shook her head. Don't apologize anymore. You were drunk. I was the one sober. But I didn't stop you. I let it happen. I wanted it, too. So, let's just leave it at that. Still, being drunk isn't an excuse. That's why I'm apologizing, Liam said, his tone calm and sincere. Miracle nodded slowly. All right, let's leave it at that. Is there anything else you want to say? She asked. I want to make it up to you, he said softly. I know it's late, but I want to do something to make things right. For what? Miracle asked, serious now. If you're doing this out of guilt, don't bother. She stood up. She didn't want to feel like she owed him anything. No, I'm doing this because I want to. Please let me. I promise I won't interfere or cause trouble. I just want to help, Liam said, standing up as well. He gently took her hand. She felt the stares from other customers and looked away in embarrassment. All right, she said quietly, more to end the moment than anything. Liam smiled and released her hand. Can I ask something? Miracle nodded once, silently agreeing. What's your son's name? She froze. Her breath hitched. The question terrified her. Nico, she answered, forcing herself to stay calm. I have to get back to work. Thanks again for the checkup. Without another word, she hurried away, leaving Liam standing behind. She never expected to see him again, let alone have a real conversation. But if this was fate's way of reopening a closed door, then so be it. Still, she swore to herself she would never tell him the truth. A week passed. Miracle thought Liam had only said those words out of courtesy. But the very next day after their conversation, he started showing up every morning. He followed them from home, drove Nico to school, dropped Miracle off at work, and then headed to the hospital for his own shift. She couldn't understand why he was doing it. Every day, without fail, he showed up, always with small gifts for Nico, snacks, toys, even vitamins. She even began to suspect that maybe Liam had some idea that Nico was his child, but he never said a word to suggest that. Mama? Miracle turned around from the stove when her son called out. Is Tito Liam picking us up again tomorrow? Nico asked eagerly. Miracle frowned slightly. Liam hadn't paid much attention to her son at first, but now Nico was clearly excited about him. Why, baby? She asked curiously. I like him, Mama. You do? She asked, letting out a soft laugh. He's nice. He helps us. Buys us food and gifts. I hope he's my dad. Miracle couldn't help but smile. Her heart warmed. At nearly 5 years old, Nico was already bright and perceptive. He understood so much about their life, and now he'd grown fond of Liam, too. Are you happy when you're with him? She asked. Nico nodded eagerly. Super. I wish he was with us all the time. Miracle gave him a big smile. Honestly, she was happy, too. Seeing that radiant smile on her son's face made her feel complete, and as much as she hated to admit it, a part of her did want Liam to be around more often. The next day, Liam picked them up as usual. After dropping Nico off at school, he drove Miracle to her workplace. Liam, don't you get tired? She finally asked. Isn't this a lot of trouble for you? She was genuinely concerned. She knew Liam's commute was 1 to 2 hours long, and his work as a doctor was no small task. You're not bothering me, Liam replied. Actually, I enjoy doing this. I don't really have anyone waiting for me at home. This keeps me busy, and I like spending time with your son. He looked at her and noticed her concern. You okay? Do I make you uncomfortable? Miracle quickly shook her head, offering a small smile. No, I'm just really thankful you make my son happy. She paused. I just don't want to be a burden. You're not a burden, Liam said calmly. You don't need to worry about me. I like helping you and your son. I want to. So, don't worry. Just be happy. Miracle smiled, nodding in gratitude. I'll go now, she said, as she opened the car door. Be careful on the road. As she was about to leave, she added, oh, and maybe have dinner at our place tonight. I'll cook. I want you to meet Miss Tina. It took her a lot of courage to invite him. She was nervous he might say no or that he'd be too busy, but Miss Tina had insisted on meeting Liam before she left for the countryside. Liam grinned and nodded. Sure. Miracle's nerves melted away. All right, take care, she said again, stepping into the coffee shop where she worked. Her boss greeted her immediately. Miracle braced herself, but the teasing grin on her manager's face made her laugh and shake her head. That night, Miracle prepared pork stew and chicken adobo. She had been nervous about whether Liam would like it, but he ended up finishing most of the food himself. You're really hard-working, young lady. I'm grateful you're courting my granddaughter, Miss Tina said with a warm smile. Miracle nearly choked. He's not courting me, Mom. She wasn't against the idea. She was just shy, afraid of what Liam might think. He's not? Well, maybe not yet, Miss Tina chuckled. Thank you, son, for taking care of these two. You know, Miracle isn't my real granddaughter, but I love her like one. It's no trouble, Liam replied with sincerity. It's a joy being with them. Don't worry, I'll take care of them. Miracle was touched. She didn't know what to say. Ted Daddy, will you pick us up again tomorrow? Nico asked suddenly. Miracle's eyes widened at the term her son used. She felt embarrassed. Honey, she whispered, trying to hush him. It's okay, Liam cut in. I like it. And if Nico wants to call me that, it's fine. Nico cheered and bounced with excitement. Miracle could only sigh. At this point, there was nothing more she could say. Later that night, after Miss Tina was picked up by her ride and Nico was tucked in, Miracle sat quietly at the dining table. She made coffee for both of them. Even though they saw each other often, she realized they hadn't really talked. Do you want to ask or talk about something? She offered. Liam paused mid-sip. He set the cup down and looked her in the eye. Actually, yes. Now that you've allowed me this time, I don't want to waste it. Go ahead, Miracle replied. She was ready to answer anything, so long as it didn't put her or her son in danger. Even though she saw Liam as a good man and potentially a good father, she still wasn't ready to tell him the truth. That night, why didn't you hurt me? Liam asked, serious now. What? Miracle was caught off guard. She thought that was it. But his question took her by surprise. Why did you leave right after you woke up? Why didn't you look for me? Make me take responsibility? Liam asked directly, as if he were the one who'd been wronged. Miracle was quiet. She couldn't answer right away. She swallowed hard, took a deep breath, and found the strength to speak. Because I wanted it, too, she said. I didn't know what to think back then, but all I knew was that I wanted it. My body wanted it. I let it happen. That's the truth. She looked away. I was scared. That's why I left right away. I didn't plan on seeing you again. I left that job. I didn't look for you because I made that decision. I chose it. I'm sorry to hear that, Liam said softly. You didn't have to be afraid. You didn't do anything wrong. He sighed deeply and looked at her with more concern. Can I ask something else? Miracle nodded. Who's Nico's dad? Where is he? Why are you raising him alone? Miracle froze. She couldn't move. The question hit her like a punch to the chest. Liam stared at her, waiting. She let out a shaky breath. Can I not answer that? She said quietly. It's too personal. Liam immediately noticed how pale she'd gone, how her forehead was damp with sweat. She looked truly frightened. I'm sorry, he said quickly. That was too personal. It's okay. You don't have to answer. Thank you for sharing what you did. And Miracle, you can rely on me. Trust me. Mirror, he added gently. Can I call you that? She nodded slightly. Okay, Mirror, I'll go now. You still have work tomorrow, and staying up late isn't good. He stood up. Miracle didn't stop him. She was tired, too. She walked him to the door. Get some sleep. All right, Liam said softly. I'll pick you and Nico up tomorrow. Be careful, Miracle said. Liam smiled and nodded. Thank you for everything, Liam, Miracle added emotionally. You made me happy. You made our family happy. You're welcome, Liam replied, smiling gently. Thank you for giving me a chance, for letting me be part of your life again. Then he left. And that night, Miracle had the best sleep of her life. For the first time in years, she felt like she had someone on her side, someone to lean on. She never thought it would be Liam, the same man she never imagined she'd see again. 2 months passed, and Liam never missed a day. His efforts toward Miracle and Nico didn't falter. They were growing closer, more comfortable with one another, and Miracle began to wonder how she could ever tell Liam the truth about Nico. She was scared. Scared that Liam might be angry. Scared that it would ruin what they had built. Take care, all right, Miracle reminded Liam, as she stepped out of his car. If you're busy today, don't worry about picking us up. Nico and I can manage. I'll explain it to him. She knew Liam enjoyed doing it. She enjoyed it, too. But she also knew how demanding his job was. Being a doctor meant he needed to stay alert at all hours. I'm sorry, Liam said. Miracle smiled, but she noticed the tiredness in his eyes. She leaned back in through the car window and gently touched his face. It's okay, she said softly, trying to comfort him. This was becoming a routine between them. Even Miracle herself was confused about what they were to each other. They weren't children anymore. All right, take care. You've done enough already, Liam. It's okay. Your job is still important, she said, as she stood up straight. I'll make it up to you. Promise, Liam replied. Miracle nodded and watched him drive away. She entered the coffee shop, where her boss greeted her right away. There were no customers yet. Liam's really making an effort, huh? Her boss, Natalie, teased. You know, I actually know him. He's a good guy, my husband's friend. Miracle flushed, caught off guard. I didn't know that. Really? How come you're not dating him? Natalie asked in disbelief. He picks you up and drops you off. He's sweet, caring. Are you messing with me, Miracle? Miracle bit her lip. She didn't know what to say. Natalie was her boss, but she had also become a close friend, someone she respected. Come on, sit down. Can you tell me how you two met? And if he's not your boyfriend, who is he really to you? Natalie asked seriously. Can I trust you? Miracle asked in return. Natalie reached over and held Miracle's hands. You can always trust me, and I promise whatever it is, I won't judge you. Miracle smiled faintly and exhaled. She was comfortable with Natalie. She trusted her, and she decided it was time to tell her the truth. I've known Liam for a long time, Miracle admitted. Natalie frowned. What do you mean? Miracle took another deep breath. He's Nico's father. There was silence between them. Neither of them said a word for a long while. Finally, Natalie broke the silence. Wait, so that's why Nico looks exactly like him. At first, I thought it was just coincidence. But how? Miracle gave a small sad smile. I used to work at their hotel as a housekeeper. One night, he mistook me for someone else, and it happened. So Liam doesn't know he's the father? Natalie asked. Miracle shook her head. All this time you've been together again, and he doesn't know the boy he treats like a son is actually his? Natalie asked, stunned. Miracle nodded again, then exhaled deeply. When it happened, he was drunk. I got scared, so I left as soon as I woke up. 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant. Instead of looking for him, I moved here and started over. Natalie was quiet for a moment. Why haven't you told him? I think Liam deserves to know the truth. Miracle knew that. She couldn't disagree. She had seen how much Liam loved and cared for Nico, even without knowing the truth. But she was still afraid. She'd be lying if she said she hadn't fallen for Liam. She had. She was just terrified. Terrified of getting hurt. Of making things worse. Terrified of destroying what they already had. I know, but I'm scared, Miracle confessed. I don't know what will happen if I tell him. I'd be lying if I said I didn't love him. I do. I'm in love with him. But I'm not sure he feels the same, and I'm scared he'll leave us once he knows I kept this from him. Tears welled up in her eyes. Then you should face that fear, Natalie said gently. Yes, it's scary to lose someone you love, but isn't it scarier to live your whole life hiding from the truth? The longer you keep it in, the harder it'll be. Miracle was silent. Natalie had a point, and she had no argument against it. I'll try, Miracle whispered. I'm tired of hiding, too. I want to hug my son and let him know Liam is his dad. I want to see him happy with his real father. There you go, Natalie smiled. That's better. Now you can finally be at peace. And I promise Liam is a good man. He'll understand. Trust yourself. Miracle nodded slowly. Natalie was right about everything. She knew Liam well enough to believe he wouldn't judge her or abandon them. Just then, customers began arriving, and both women returned to their work. Miracle was grateful she had spoken to Natalie. Her words had helped. She was still scared, but she had made up her mind. She would tell Liam the truth about the past, the secret, and her feelings. Several days passed without a visit from Liam. Miracle understood. He had many patients, and she had heard he was attending charity events and free medical missions. Even so, Liam never forgot to call or send food. He still found ways to care for them, even from afar. Nico, of course, noticed. Mama, is Daddy Liam leaving us? He asked innocently. Miracle paused what she was doing and quickly sat beside him, as he worked on his assignment. No, sweetie. Daddy's just busy, she said gently. Do you miss him? Nico nodded right away. Yes. Miracle sighed. Don't worry, we'll visit him soon when we're both not busy. Then she added softly, Sweetheart, can I ask you something? What is it, Mama? Nico asked. What if you found out that Daddy Liam is actually your real daddy? Would that be okay? All her anxiety disappeared when she saw Nico's glowing, happy face. Yes, I'd be super happy. I like him so much, Mama. Miracle smiled brightly. All right, then. From now on, Daddy Liam is your real dad. Okay, but let's keep it our little secret for now. Nico nodded eagerly, his wide smile not fading. Okay, now finish your homework. We're about to eat, and then it's bedtime, Miracle instructed. Nico nodded again. Miracle didn't need to help him. He could manage it on his own. After helping him clean up and tidy the house, she got ready for bed, changing into a simple cotton dress. Just as she was about to return to their bedroom, there was a knock at the door. She frowned and walked over to the window to peek outside. Her eyes widened. It was Liam. He stood at the front door, shoulders slumped, his face tired and sad. Miracle opened the door immediately, staring at him in shock. He looked completely drained. "What happened?" she asked. But before she could finish, Liam pulled her into a tight hug. He buried his face into her neck, clinging to her. Though surprised, Miracle wrapped her arms around him. "What happened?" she asked softly. Seeing him in such a state frightened her. He looked utterly exhausted, like he hadn't rested in days. "Why did you come all the way here?" "You should have gone home and rested," she said with concern. "You're my rest," Liam whispered weakly. "You and Nico, you're my rest." Miracle swallowed hard, stunned by his words. "Come inside," she urged gently. He let go briefly, as she closed the door, but still clung to her like a child. She led him to the living room, and they sat on the sofa. Liam curled up against her, clinging tightly. Miracle said nothing. She just let him rest. If being in her arms gave him peace, she wouldn't deny him that. He stayed like that for nearly 30 minutes before he finally pulled away. She fetched him a glass of water and waited for him to speak. She didn't ask questions. She knew he would talk when he was ready. Liam slowly set the glass down on the table, then took her hand and gently played with her fingers. "I lost a patient tonight," he said quietly. Miracle's lips parted in surprise. "She was my favorite," he continued. "I'd been taking care of her, monitoring everything. I thought she'd survived the operation. But when I came back, the child was gone." His voice cracked as he spoke, and tears filled his eyes. He broke down crying. Miracle hugged him again, trying to calm him down. She hadn't expected Liam to cry like this. It hurt her to see him this way, especially because the loss involved a child. They both had soft spots for children. "I'm here." "Let it out," she whispered, holding him tighter. Liam leaned against her shoulder, and they stayed like that in silence for several minutes, until he finally calmed down. "You okay now?" Miracle asked, once he was more composed. "Yes," Liam said, his voice quiet. "Can we talk, Mirror? I mean, seriously, there's something I want to say." Miracle grew nervous, but nodded slowly in agreement. "After what happened," Liam began, "I realized a lot of things." Miracle didn't respond. She let him continue. "I don't want to waste any more time. We don't know how long we have. I don't want to wait for the right moment anymore." Miracle furrowed her brows. She didn't quite understand what he was trying to say. "Liam, what do you mean?" she asked, confused. "It's scary, Mara. I don't know what might happen tomorrow. That's why I'd rather be honest now and make the most of the time we have." She was even more confused now. "Can you just say it directly? You're making me nervous." "I know what you're hiding from me," Liam said seriously. "I know who Nico's father is. I know that I'm his father." Miracle blinked, stunned. Her heart raced. "And if you think I'm going to get angry or walk away, you're wrong. I might be upset that you kept it from me, but I won't leave." "I love you," he said. Miracle closed her eyes tightly, unsure how to respond. "How did you find out?" she asked shakily. "Why didn't you tell me earlier that you knew?" "I'm sorry," Liam said. He held her hand, gently rubbing his thumb across her skin. "I didn't say anything because I wanted you to be the one to tell me. I wanted you to feel ready. But after what happened, I realized if I kept waiting, we might lose more time together, time I should have spent with my son." Miracle understood his reasoning. But the emotions overwhelmed her. She hadn't expected it to feel like this. So raw, so real. "I didn't mean to lie or pretend I didn't know," Liam continued. "I just didn't want to pressure you. But now I have to tell you, I know Nico is our son." He squeezed her hand. "And I love you." Miracle stared at him, eyes glassy. "If you're wondering why I kept trying to make things up to you, even when you said it wasn't necessary, it's because I knew. And I knew I couldn't afford to lose you, especially not after finding out I have a son." He looked deeply into her eyes. "You don't know what kind of impact you had on me when we were apart. That night haunted me. I know it was just one night, but it changed everything for me. I couldn't forget you. Miracle's lips parted in surprise. She hadn't realized he had felt the same. I knew the moment I saw you again, Liam said. My heart, it only beats for you. He gently placed her hand over his chest, letting her feel his heartbeat. This heart, it's only for you, he whispered. Miracle couldn't stop the tears from falling. She felt the sincerity in his every word. She never imagined that Liam felt all these things, that the weight she'd carried alone was something he had shared all along. As time passed, I fell deeper in love with you, Liam said. Not just with you, but with our son, too. And I understand why you had to hide the truth. You don't have to explain anything. He hugged her tightly. Miracle finally broke down, wrapping her arms around him in return, her emotions flooded all at once. Relief, love, fear, hope. Thank you, she whispered through tears. Thank you for understanding, for being patient with me. If anyone asked her, Miracle wouldn't regret giving herself to Liam. She didn't regret meeting him that night. Every sacrifice she had made was now met with something more, something complete. I love you, Liam, she said. You're the only man I've ever loved. You're the only one who's ever made my heart feel like this. She pulled back slightly to look at him, smiling through her tears. Liam, too, was emotional. I don't regret meeting you that night, she added. I love you too, Mara, Liam replied. I love you and our son more than anything. You really are a miracle to me. Because of you, my life has become unexpectedly beautiful. He leaned in and gently kissed her. Miracle returned the kiss, feeling the warmth of his lips. It was unexpected how everything had turned out, but they were both truly happy. Months passed, and their relationship blossomed. Liam and Miracle's bond deepened, and their connection with Nico grew stronger every day. They had become comfortable with each other, so much so that Miracle couldn't imagine a day without Liam in their lives. She never thought the day would come when she'd have to admit the truth to him. But now that she had, things only got better. Still, part of her feared what might happen when Liam's family became involved. One day, after dropping her off from work, Liam leaned out of the car window. Love, come have dinner at the house later. I'm cooking. I want you to meet my mom. Miracle hesitated. She was nervous. What if his mom didn't accept her? Still, she nodded. Later that evening, they arrived at Liam's mother's house. To Miracle's surprise, Liam's mom greeted her warmly. I'm so glad to meet you, she said, embracing Miracle. All of Miracle's anxiety faded in that moment. They sat together in the living room. You're so beautiful. Do you know Liam always talks about you? Every time he visits, he says he's got someone waiting for him at home. I see now what he means. Miracle blushed. She wasn't used to being complimented. Call me Mom, okay? Liam's mother continued. I'm sure you'll be marrying my son one day, so you'd better get used to it. Miracle smiled shyly. Thank you for accepting us. You don't have to thank me, she replied. You're good people, and if my son loves you, then so do I. Thank you, Miracle said again, touched. You've made my son so happy, Liam's mom added. Liam came into the room just then, holding Nico's hand. His mother quickly took the boy to play in the backyard. Left alone, Miracle turned to Liam. Your mom is so kind. I didn't think she'd like us so much. That's because you're a lovely person, Liam said, just like our son. Miracle smiled again. It's nice to see your mom so happy, even after separating from your dad. She's happy now, Liam said. Their relationship was toxic. My dad was strict and controlling. I saw it all growing up. At least she found peace, Miracle replied. What about you and your dad? She asked gently. We're not close, Liam admitted. Even when I was a kid, it was always Mom who raised me. My dad was always angry or too busy. I learned to keep my distance. Miracle nodded, understanding. She had been on her own for most of her life, too. Where is he now? She asked. After the divorce, he buried himself in work. I barely saw him before, and even less now. He missed all the important moments in my life. But it's fine. I'm used to it. What about you? Liam asked, turning the question around. I grew up in an orphanage. A family took me in when I was 15. But when I turned 18, the woman who cared for me passed away. I didn't want to be a burden to her kids, so I left. She paused. When I got pregnant, I was actually happy. I finally had someone of my own. Nico gave me purpose. She smiled faintly. Then I met Miss Tina while I was pregnant. She helped me survive, helped me find a job, and stand on my own again. And Natalie? Liam asked. She helped me find work. She became my closest friend and later my boss. I'm so proud of you, Liam said, embracing her. You made it through everything on your own. Thank you, Miracle whispered. And thank you for loving me. Without you, I wouldn't have Nico. Without you, I wouldn't have anyone. You saved me, even if you didn't know it. I love you, Liam said softly, holding her tighter. They sat in silence, grateful for the life they had now, one full of love, family, and understanding. A month passed. Liam was often busy with work and attending seminars. Miracle missed him, and so did Nico. That's why they were thrilled when Liam called and invited them to visit his condo near the hospital. Daddy, you're not busy anymore? Nico asked, as soon as they arrived. They had just finished a 3-hour drive, stuck in traffic. The invitation had come last minute, but thankfully Miracle had found someone to cover her shift at the coffee shop, and Natalie had approved the time off. Not anymore, son. Sorry if I've been busy, Liam said apologetically. It's okay, Daddy. You're saving lives. I understand, Nico said cheerfully. Miracle and Liam exchanged warm smiles. Thank you for taking care of our child. You raised him well, Liam said, approaching her and kissing her gently. It's nothing, Miracle replied with a smile. Now go shower. You must be tired. I'll cook your favorite. Liam nodded and headed to the bathroom. Miracle made her way to the kitchen and began preparing beef stew, Liam and Nico's favorite dish. As she cleaned the meat, the doorbell rang. She frowned and walked over to the door, wondering who it could be. When she opened it, she was surprised to see an older man in a business suit, flanked by 2 bodyguards. I'm Liam's father, the man introduced himself. Miracle froze. So, it's true. He really does have a girlfriend, he said flatly. Miracle didn't know how to respond. She could already feel the tension rising. Before she could say anything, Nico appeared beside her. Mama, who are they? He asked curiously. So, you really do have a child? You and Liam have a child, the man asked, sounding more disgusted than surprised. Miracle grew more nervous. Aren't you going to let me in? Is this how you welcome your boyfriend's father? He asked coldly. Miracle shook her head quickly and opened the door wider. She didn't know what to expect, but she could already sense his disapproval. Once inside, she offered politely, "Would you like something to drink?" The man ignored her offer. "Where's Liam?" "He's in the shower," she replied quietly. "Let me be blunt," he said. "I don't like you for my son." Miracle wasn't shocked. She had felt it the moment she saw him. "I understand," she said calmly. "Go to your room for a bit, sweetheart," she told Nico softly. "Okay," he replied and did as he was told. When Nico was safely in the room, Miracle returned to face Liam's father, who was now seated on the sofa. "What exactly would you like to discuss?" she asked respectfully. "I already told you I don't like you for my son," he repeated. "I heard you, and I said I understand," she replied. "Then leave him. Break up with Liam," he said firmly. Miracle's brow furrowed. "You know Liam has a good life. He's a respected and wealthy doctor. A woman like you, uneducated with a child, is not a good match for him." Miracle bit her tongue, swallowing the insult. You're a liability, a burden. You and your child. You're after his money, aren't you? Break up with him. I'll pay you any amount. Just stay away from my son. Miracle inhaled slowly and exhaled. Several moments passed before she responded. As I said, I understand that you don't approve of me. That's your opinion, and I can't change that, she said calmly. But I love your son, and he loves me. We have a child together. We're a happy family. She looked him directly in the eye. If you think I'm only here for money, that's on you. I don't care what others think. What matters is Liam, because he's the man I love and the one I'll spend my life with. Liam's father sneered and stood. You're not just greedy, you're arrogant and disrespectful. If that's how you see me, so be it, she replied, unshaken. I want to know, what can you possibly offer my son besides the fact that he got you pregnant? What can a poor, uneducated woman like you possibly give him? Just as Miracle opened her mouth to speak, Liam walked out of the bedroom, fully dressed. A lot, he said, stepping into the room. She's given me happiness I never got from you. She gives me love, care, and respect. Things I never once felt from my own father. That alone makes her more than enough for me. Because she and our child are my peace and my life. He walked over to Miracle and wrapped an arm around her waist. His father was stunned. You're actually defending that woman. She has no future. She's a freeloader, a burden. Dad, stop, Liam cut in sharply. Stop before I lose all respect for you. You don't get to decide who I love. You don't get to insult the family I've chosen. Liam's voice was firm now, shaking with restrained anger. I'm spending my money on my family, on the woman I love and the son we share. That's none of your business. They deserve everything I can give them. Miracle gently placed her hand over his, trying to calm him. I didn't raise you to be like this, his father snapped. You're right, because you didn't raise me at all, Liam retorted, losing the last of his patience. Mom was the only one who cared. So don't act like you had a hand in making me who I am. He turned fully toward his father. So no, I won't leave Miracle. I won't abandon my son, and I sure as hell won't marry anyone else. Miracle is the woman I'll marry, and that's final. Miracle stood frozen beside him, emotional and speechless. His father looked as if he was about to speak again, until Liam's mother suddenly appeared in the doorway. Her eyes narrowed, clearly annoyed. Rodolfo, she snapped. Are you bothering our son again? She marched in. Angeline, what are you doing here? He asked, clearly caught off guard. I came to check on Liam. And what do I find? You harassing him again, she replied. I'm just trying to help him avoid a mistake, he reasoned. Really? Stop it already. Leave them alone. No wonder I divorced you, she replied sharply. She turned to Miracle. I'm sorry about all this. Don't believe a word he says. He's always been like this. That's why I left him. Miracle looked down, too stunned to speak. She quietly stepped back, as Liam's mother grabbed Rodolfo by the arm and dragged him out. As soon as the door closed behind them, silence fell. I'm sorry, Liam said, his voice tender. That's just how my dad is. That's why Mom left him. He always wants control. But don't worry, I won't let him interfere. I'll take care of everything. He kissed Miracle's hand. She smiled gently. Don't worry. No matter who tries to stand in our way, I won't leave you. I love you, Liam said and pulled her into a tight hug. Miracle returned the embrace. I love you, too. Despite everything that had just happened, all the pain and insults, none of it mattered because Liam's love made her feel whole. Liam, I love you. You and our son. No one else. I'm going to marry you, Liam said softly. I don't want to lose either of you. I want to marry you, Miracle. Miracle let out a soft laugh through tears and nodded, her heart full. She never imagined she'd be blessed with a man like Liam. A man who loved her completely and unconditionally. "I'll marry you, Liam. There's no one else for me," she said, as she buried herself in his arms. Liam placed a gentle kiss on her forehead. They smiled, and eventually, the wedding happened, just as Liam had promised. A wedding for forever. A wedding they would never forget. One that sealed their love in front of all who mattered and in the presence of God. Though their love was born from the unexpected, it became something strong, unshakable, and infinite. A complete family. It had all started with an unexpected night. One that changed everything. A night that neither of them planned, but which led to a love without end. Now their family was whole. They didn't just build a life. They built a love that was full, unwavering, and complete. A family filled with joy and love. It had all seemed impossible once. But now Miracle knew there truly was hope. She never thought love could feel like this, so deep, so pure, so true. Especially when it came from someone who valued her, who stood by her, who saw her worth even when others didn't. She helped me get on my feet again, gave me shelter, helped me find work. And Natalie? Liam asked. She helped me get this job. She's my best friend and my boss. I'm so proud of you, Liam said, pulling her into an embrace. You did all of that on your own. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you for loving me, Miracle whispered. Without you, I wouldn't have our son. Without you, I'd still be alone. You saved me, Liam. Even when you didn't know it. I love you, Liam murmured, as he held her tighter. They were both overwhelmed with happiness. They didn't need anything else. Want to hear more heartfelt stories like this? Subscribe to Dark Voices for more emotional journeys that will touch your soul.